Hey, have you ever wondered what a beginner's language class is actually like? Not the app version, but the real deal. Well, I just got out of my German lesson, and I'm going to give you the full inside scoop on everything we did from start to finish.
Okay, let's dive right in. I'm going to walk you through my entire A1 German lesson, from the warm-up all the way to the brand new grammar that, totally bent my brain a little. Let's get into it.
So we did not ease into things. Nope. We kicked it all off with a surprise tuition test. Yeah, it's a short practice test, kind of designed to see what's actually sticking from the last few lessons. A little nerve-wracking? For sure. But honestly, super useful.
And this test covered all 4 of the core skills: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. We started with the one that, for me, is always the trickiest: hören, or listening. You really have to tune your ear in for this.
The audio clips, they came at us fast. We had to listen for these super specific details in really short dialogues, like this one, where the whole goal was just to catch the exact street and house number. It's a classic exercise, right? It trains your ear to filter out all the noise and just grab that key piece of info.
And this is a perfect example of the real challenge in listening. The speaker spells out their last name, Smit, and you have to catch that tiny detail. Did he say T or DT? It's these little things that make all the difference, and they can trip you up so easily.
So, the big takeaway here is that listening isn't about understanding every single word. It's really about training your ear to catch those absolutely crucial details when you're under a bit of pressure. And hey, I'm pretty happy to report I got them all right. You got to celebrate the small wins, you know?
Okay, let's move on to what happened next. After the test, we finally got to actually use the language. We jumped straight into speaking practice, just building simple conversations around our daily routines.
Our teacher gave us these simple prompts, like this one, asking about breakfast. And then she just let us run with it. The goal wasn't to be perfect, it was just to communicate.
Now this is where it gets really interesting, because you start to see how a real, unscripted conversation can happen. One student answered that they don't really eat breakfast, they just have coffee. It's simple, but it's totally authentic.
And then another student immediately followed up with a question: no time or no desire? And the answer was no desire. See? It's these little back and forths that make it feel less like a boring classroom drill and way more like a real chat. This is where the learning actually happens.
So, with our conversation practice wrapped up, it was time to move on to some brand new material. The topic for the day was all about learning how to talk about getting around in a city.
The most important word for this whole topic was this one: Verkehrsmittel. I know, it's a big, intimidating-looking word, but all it means is means of transport. This was kind of our anchor for the entire section.
Then, as a class, we all just brainstormed all the different Verkehrsmittel we could think of. We ended up with a great list, everything from the bus and the train to the tram and, of course, the bicycle. Okay, so we've got all this new vocabulary, but, this is German. You can't just use nouns without knowing the grammar that makes them work. And that brought us to what was definitely the most challenging part of the whole lesson.
Right here, this is the crucial point. So, to say I'm taking the bus, you've got choices. If you use the verb nehmen, which means to take, it requires the accusative case. So you say ich nehme den Bus. But if you use fahren mit, to go with, it takes a totally different one, the dative case. That changes the article to ich fahre mit den Bus. Now, for us English speakers, this is a huge hurdle because we just don't have cases like this. We depend on word order. But in German, that tiny little word, den or dame, tells you exactly what role the noun plays in the sentence. It's such a small change, but it means everything.
Now, to wrap it all up, our teacher didn't just leave us hanging with that super tricky grammar. She shared some absolutely fantastic strategies for actually making all this new information stick in our brains. And this right here, this is basically my new blueprint for success. These are universal language learning hacks, really. Number 1, always learn the article with the noun, that is just non-negotiable in German. Use mind maps to connect vocabulary. And my personal favorite, make flashcards with a full sentence, not just a single word. It's all about learning things in context. So that was it. That was my German class. As you can see, a single lesson is this really dynamic mix of review, practice, new words, and some seriously tricky grammar. It's a full workout for your brain. And it kind of leaves me wondering, whether it's a language, an instrument, or a new skill for your job,